Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. Today I have a full hour-long yin yoga practice that is designed to help with those who may be menstruating or on their fertility journey. So bringing blood and awareness and space and mindfulness into the hips and pelvic region. If you are not menstruating, if you are not on a fertility journey, please do not worry. This is a fantastic practice for opening up your hips. If you are new to the yin yoga practice, yin yoga is a practice of yoga where we hold shapes for an extended period of time. So it is not about quantity of shapes, it's about the quality of shapes. Yin yoga does stress the body, so it is not exactly like restorative. You may feel uncomfortable in yin yoga practice, and while discomfort is fine, pain is not, particularly in the joints. So if you start to feel any sort of pain or heat or anything that just doesn't feel like the stretchy feeling, I ask you to listen to your body, to honor your body, and to pull back out of your shapes. Yin yoga targets the deeper tissues of the body, so the tendons, ligaments, joint capsules, your fascia, your bones. And by holding shapes for extended period of time, you're looking to find an increased range of motion and a relaxing of these tissues. So when you're ready, if you have them, you can use blankets for today's class. You can use a bolster. If you do not have a bolster, use pillows. Blocks might be a good idea as well. And if you don't have blocks, you can use large books. Please, as always, listen to your body. And when you're ready, I will meet you on your mat. Starting in a comfortable seated position, allow your eyes to close. Take a few full cycles of breath here. And setting an intention for your yin yoga practice. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Tuck your chin towards your chest, blinking your eyes open. Look up. We'll start today in butterfly pose, using props if you have them, but you don't need them if you don't. Bringing a block to the arches of your feet. The soles of your feet are together, your knees are wide apart, and you're in more of a diamond shape, so there's space between your heels and your pelvis. You can bring that bolster to the pelvis and the top of it to your block. Again, if you don't have these props, you don't need them. When you're ready, your hands will come to your shins. You'll tuck your chin towards your chest and slowly roll down. Bringing your forehead to your bolster, or simply letting the crown of your head hang heavy. Bring your hands alongside you. You'll press into your palms to slowly come off of your bolster. Your bolster can come off to the side. And we'll start to take the legs a little bit wider so you can move the long side of your mat. Nice wide legs, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And again, this is a really nice place for your props. Taking one block medium height, one block a little bit higher. Your bolster can come onto your blocks. Bring your pelvis nice and close. Take your fingertips behind you. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, hinge at your hips as you fold. You can take your hands underneath that bolster, either bringing a cheek to the side or your forehead down. Walking your hands back towards your bolster, press into your palms to come up. You'll place your hands underneath your knees to bend your knees, soles of your feet come to the mat nice and wide, hands behind you, just windshield wiper of the legs side to side. And then coming forward, we'll make our way into frog pose. If you have a blanket, you can use it. Mine is currently occupied. So I'm gonna make do by folding my mat into a much smaller mat. I'm still gonna use my bolster here, so I'll bring the bolster in front of the mat. My hands will come to either side of the bolster. Knees come to the mat. You're gonna start to walk your knees away from you. So You might feel that as you walk the knees out, you need to take the mat a little bit longer. And then once you've found your position where your hips are in line with your knees are in line with your ankles, and your feet are flexed, you can make your way down onto that bolster. And again, either a cheek or your forehead will come down. Letting your hands underneath your shoulders. This can be tricky to get out of, but I want you to press into your palms. You can wiggle the knees back together. Take your mat back out long. Take your feet to the mat in front of you. Take your hands behind you, fingers pointing in towards your bum. Press into your heels, press into your palms, lift your hips, lengthen your tail towards the backs of your knees. Lowering all the way back down, rolling over your shins, coming into all fours. And take your right leg behind you, pressing into your big toe mound, pressing into your heel. Get a stretch through your calf and the back of your right leg. And you'll pick your right foot up. Take your right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can scooch those left toes back. And then inhale to widen the collarbones, and you do have the option of staying lifted, or you can come down to forearms. And again, this is a really nice place for you to bring your bolster, maybe your blocks and your bolster, or your pillow, or whatever you have, and lower down. Make sure that your knee is tracking same direction as your toes. So if you're winging the knee out, your toes are pointing out as well. Starting to deepen your breath, pressing your hands into the mat or into the bolster to lift you, gently coming back to all fours. And you can take a child's pose here, or if you'd like to pop into a quick downward facing dog, you can do so. Your knees will come back down towards the earth. We'll swap sides, extending your left leg out behind you, pressing through your big toe mound, pressing through your heel. And then picking your left foot off the mat, bringing it to the outside of your left hand. Scoot your right knee back. Remember, if you're turning your left toes out, you're turning the left knee out, winging out from your hip joint. Make sure that your knee is on a 90-degree angle. There's no pain in your knee. And then inhale to lift here. And you can stay on your hands, or as you exhale, come down to forearms. Hands will plant on the mat or on your bolster. Gently coming back to your all fours position. Again, you can stay here or take child's pose or extend the legs. Downward facing dog, stretching out through the hamstrings. Lowering your knees back down onto the mat. You'll swing off to one side. Take your bolster behind you or your pillows if you're using them. You might even want a block or two underneath the head where your bolster, or where your head will go at the back of the bolster. You're going to keep the sole of your left foot on the mat. Wing off to the left side, bend your right knee. Place the top of your right foot on the mat. Make sure that you don't feel any pain in your right knee. So to bend the knee, you internally rotate your right hip. And that means you're thinking about wrapping your right inner thigh down towards the earth before bending the knee and making sure your right sits bone stays connected to the mat. If you feel pain at the top of your right foot, take your blanket underneath it. Again, oh, I might be getting my blanket back. That's a good option. Sole of your left foot comes down to the mat. Bring your hands beside you. You're gonna press into your palms, lift up your hips, lengthen your tail towards the front of your mat, lower your pelvis back down, and then lowering down onto your bolster. This is your half saddle. And you could always come all the way down onto the mat as well. You certainly don't need to lay on top of a bolster, but it is quite nice to have that support. You could also let your left knee come off to the side in like a half butterfly shape, or let it come all the way forward. So it's really personal preference here. Close your eyes. Breathing. Place the sole of your left foot back down on the earth if it's not already there. Hands will come down to the mat beside your hips. Gently press into your palms. You're slowly coming up. And then hands behind you can roll off to your left cheek to swing the right leg forward. Feet go mat with distance apart, hands behind you, windshield wiper out the legs. And we'll swap sides, so you'll gently roll onto the right cheek. Again, your left hip internally rotates, so think about wrapping the left inner thigh down before bending your knee, pressing the top of your left foot on the mat, making sure that both of your sits bones are down on the earth. Placing the sole of your right foot down, hands come beside your hips, press into your palms, lift up your hips, lengthen your tail towards the front of the mat, and then lowering down. Excuse me. Drawing your shoulders onto your back, and you can find whatever shape feels good in that right side again. Hands will come back to the mat beside you, placing the sole of your left foot on the earth, sole of your right foot on the earth. Press into your forearms, press into your palms to come back up. Swing off to the right side, bring that left leg forward. Feet are mat width distance apart, hands behind you, and windshield wiper out the legs. Okay. You'll take your left leg long and cross your right thigh all the way over top of the left. You're trying to stack your knees on top of one another. The outside of your right foot will come down towards the mat. If it feels okay in your body, you can swing the left leg behind you. Again, your knees are stacked. Both sits bones connect to the earth. So if you're a little bit lopsided, you do want to take the bottom leg long or sit on top of something, either your blanket or your block or your bolster. Fingertips come behind you, lift your chest. You can stay lifted, closing your eyes and working your shape from here. Or starting to fold forward, letting the crown of your head be heavy. You can even rest your forehead on your knee, or you can bring a bolster here, bring your forehead down. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Slowly walk your hands back up. And take your hands behind you so you can uncross your legs. Give them a little windshield wiper. And we'll switch sides. So you'll keep your right leg long. Left thigh crosses over top of the right. Maybe you bend your right knee off to the side underneath the left. Please make sure that you're not now shifting and the left hip is lifted. Keep both sits bones on the earth, both sides of your pelvis grounded. Hands come behind you, lift your chest, big inhale. Option to stay here, or on your exhale, you fold. inhale to start to walk your hands back up towards you. Hands will come behind you so you can lean back, uncross the legs, let your knees fall from side to side. Take a quick counter stretch and a forward fold here. So extending your legs long in front of you. I'm going to use my blocks and my bolster, setting up once again that system where one block is at a medium height, one is a little bit higher. I'm going to take my legs so they're just wide of the blocks. And resting the bolster on my thighs and then up towards the block. And exhaling to fold. Tucking chin towards chest, and I can hold on to my bolster here, letting the crown of my head be heavy. And so you can let the crown of your head be heavy and your forehead come to your bolster. You could also rest your arms alongside you with your palms facing up. As you inhale, start to walk your hands back towards you, tucking your chin towards your chest. Take your pillow or your bolster to your left side. Your blocks can go off to the side. Final thing before Shavasana, lie down onto your back. Beautiful. You can draw your right knee in towards your chest. You're finding a simple twist on your right side, or pardon me, on your left side. So as you roll over onto the left outer hip, your right thigh and shin will come to your bolster. Your left fingertips will go long across the floor, and then you'll reach your right fingertips long across the floor as well. So both of your shoulders connect to the mat, your chest opens towards the ceiling, but your knees and hips point towards the left side of the mat with the support of your bolster underneath your knee. Close your eyes. Breathe. Gently draw your navel to your spine, roll onto your back, and you'll switch sides. That pillow or bolster will come to your right. You'll bring your left knee in towards your chest. That right leg goes long. You're rolling onto your right outer hip, bringing your left shin and knee to your bolster. Taking your right fingertips out in front of you and that left fingertips off to the left. So eventually your chest opens towards the ceiling as your lower body twists to the right. Closing your eyes, last shape before Shavasana. gently come onto your back, and you're setting yourself up for your final resting shape, Shavasana. You can use your bolster underneath your knees. If you have a blanket, maybe place it over your entire body, maybe just over the pelvis. Wherever you're going, just find a shape that you can rest or relax into for the next few moments, closing your eyes and letting all of your hard work sink in. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Allow your deepened breath to inspire small movements through your fingers and your toes. Maybe you shake your head from side to side and take a full body stretch by pointing through your toes as you reach your arms up overhead. Maybe you yawn. Bend into one knee, bend into the other. Roll over onto your left side. And I ask you to pause there briefly, just checking in, noticing how you're feeling. And then letting your head be the last thing to come up. Make your way to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center as you arrive at your seat. Your eyes are closed. Thank yourself for spending this time on your mat today, for taking this hour that was just for you, for stillness, for rest, for growth. We'll end today's practice with the word that means the divine light in me bows to the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you so very much for sharing your time with me on your mat today. Thank you for slowing down for this hour-long yin practice. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed today's class. You can hit subscribe if you'd like to see videos from me every week. And if you have a particular video in mind that you would like to see, whether it be another yin class or vinyasa or a workout, please comment down below and I would love to make that happen for you. Have a beautiful, fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again for sharing your time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.